So let me give you some tips about selecting threads for a serger. So even though we are doing all of our samples color-coded, you're probably not going to use colorful threads for your projects. Well, tell you the truth, you probably could. You're making some pillowcases, maybe donating them to charity. It would be just fine to have threads that kind of were colorful on the inside. Nobody's going to care, and they're probably look kind of cool. So the only thing is that's really going to show is what is in this outside needle. So especially if you're using a 4-thread overlock, this left needle, so right now I have kind of the orange in place of what yellow would be, that's the color that would technically show through if the seam was really going to get pulled and opened quite a bit. Let me show you what I mean. So if I was sewing on this delicate yellow, I might want to put in a lighter combination. Number one, because when I press that open, you're going to see my red shadow through. So we definitely want something a little bit more neutral, not like that. But when I pull this open here, do you see how you see the orange? Well, barely. That would technically not be a bad thing to have on this yellow. So what would be the better choice? So yes, you can definitely leave these on, use them up, no problem. You are going to need 4 whites. Would white look good on this project? Yes. And even if I had a little white on that outside needle, that would be fine. Of course, if I really wanted to match, I could buy some light lemony yellow, put it on just a small spool, you don't even need a big spool, and put it on that outside needle here, and you would have a nice seam should it get opened up, and then it'll be white on the inside. Now, side note here, do you notice that 2 of these spools, here they go, yep, 2 of these spools are almost empty, and two are quite full. So we've had this on a serger and we've been using it a lot. So my loopers, those are the ones that use the most thread. And so that's why these are more empty than these. Well, about halfway through, what I try to do is actually switch. So I'll put my fuller threads on my loopers and my thinner threads on my needles, because the needles don't take very much thread. Those are like your regular sewing machine amounts, but these are the thread hogs, you might say. So if you need to and you only have 2 spools, put your bigger cone, cones, maybe you only have 2 cones. Put those on the loopers and you could put smaller spools on your needles and be just fine. So whites, you need white, definitely. Another color that would be great would be some grays or creams. Think about how quilters do it. Usually they just do some neutral colors. So you'll find that if you have a set of grays or creams or a little of both, you can kind of just mix them up, no big deal. Also some darks. Now, and that doesn't have to be 4 blacks. Most people tend to buy 4 blacks for your darker fabrics. That can be used on navy colors, denim colors. Maybe you have navy color as your dark, or maybe chocolate brown. You could definitely mix and match, or a charcoal gray. You need darks, you need whites, and you need some middle-of-the-road creams or grays. That's about the extent of your serger threads that you truly need. Now, as soon as you start to need to really match, or you're doing something that might be judged, like for 4-H, yes, you probably want to get 4 spools of matching thread, or 2 spools, and then wind some bobbins off of these, and put some bobbins on those needles. That would work too. And then you're only having to invest 2 of the spools, but you're still using all the same weight, so then your tension's going to be really easy to stay adjusted. So make your purchases wisely. Multicolor when you get going. Use those up for the fun projects. White, dark, and middle colors.